Hello and welcome back to a new video of 5 highly recommended manhwas to read. Number 5. Chronicles of Heavenly Demon. Haek-sung is the sole disciple of the world's strongest spearman. Under his mentorship, Haek-sung attains a great mastership of the spear. However, he and his master were framed for studying demonic arts, one of the heaviest crimes for a martial artist of the orthodox faction. This leads to a combined attack by several leaders and the Martial Alliance leader himself, which results in the death of both of them. Haek-sung dies and finds himself reborn as a disciple of Cult of Heavenly Demon. He swears to use his new life to avenge his fallen master and get to the person behind the framing. After completing the deadly training of the Cave of Latent Demons, he quickly raises in the ranks within the cult, aiming to seize control of it to use the cult's resources to get his revenge. This gets the attention of the cult leader, who places his hopes of raising an exceptional vice leader for the cult on Haek-sung. Number 4. Child of the Sheath. In a world where a mute girl who is turned into a living weapon by her mother, a frost dragon roams the skies seeking vengeance, and beings with godlike powers clash for the balance of nature, comes our main character of this manhwa named Bira, a young child who enjoyed fishing as well as spending time in the wilderness, alongside his dwarf grandfather. This happy, peaceful life was disturbed when his grandfather was in a life-or-death fight and asked Bira to run and wait for him in the northern side of the forest, just as his grandfather had advised him to do. Bira waited for several years by surviving in a forest, making friends with a family of bears and avoiding human contact. Eventually, he meets Tanya, a former general who is searching for the love of his childhood. Together, they journey into an enchanted landscape unlike any other. Number 3. Escort Warrior. Escort Warrior begins when a child finds the unconscious body of the MC, whose men have just been slaughtered in a nearby battle. This boy runs back to the village to find someone who can save him. He and the 2 men who agree to help are risking their lives since their village forbids helping unknown warriors. Eventually, the warrior regains his health and goes on to live the rest of his life as a hermit. Years later, one of the men who saved this nameless commander goes out in search of him, hoping he will help defend his village from a rival family who intends to destroy them. The commander initially declines, having sworn he would never kill again, even going so far as to bury his sword to show the seriousness of his decision. But he eventually changed his mind after he heard that the young boy who found him and called for help is living there. Number 2. Murim RPG Simulation. Murim RPG Simulation is an action, fantasy, and drama manhwa based on the main character Seolwi, who aspires to be the strongest at the top position of the demon cult. Seolwi works as a scout for the renowned demon cult. The story starts when he was on a routine patrol, when his team unknowingly came across a fearsome leader of the Manhwa sect, and slaughters the entire squad without warning, as Seolwi lies dying, regretting years wasted as an insignificant being with nothing to show for it. He encounters a video game status window asking if he wants to restart his life. With this second chance, Seolwi vows to survive and grow stronger to rise to the top of the demon cult. Therefore, Seolwi begins to train to get stronger and seeing where his life took the wrong turn to avoid the inevitable death. Number 1. The Venom Dragon. This manhwa is telling the story of a young boy named Jagan Jin. His life was peaceful until one night. The Venom sect poisoned many of Jagan's family to death before his eyes, and taking Jagan himself away to be tortured to death in their cruel experiments to test their poisons. Despite his body being ravaged by their toxins, Jagan escaped, only to discover that the attack was allowed on the behalf of the leader of the righteous Murim Alliance. Jagan is struck with further tragedy when his attempts to protect the few survivors resulted in the Venom sect burying them all alive inside a disused mine. After years of toiling away in the dark, With only the corpses of his fallen friends and family for comfort, Jagan eventually breaks out to the outside world to begin his quest for revenge on those who wronged him.